Hello everybody, it's me, TONIK TZW, and I've had a really busy couple of weeks at work, which is why you haven't seen me on live stream at much, or I haven't had a chance really to go through the huge backlog of videos and replays that I've got for you. So I decided to take the opportunity to get one of my 3 outstanding Kraken videos up and onto the channel, and I've got a few spud runs and a couple of other good tactical games to put up as well. And yeah, trying to help guys learn a little bit more, playing ships that I'm not familiar with, and grinding out a few others to try and complete the tech tree. For those of you that haven't been past here before, that perhaps don't know me, please do, watch some of the videos, and if you like them, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to smash that like button on the ones that you do enjoy. I do a compilation at the end of every month of hot shots, citaderps, and torpedoes, and there is a huge collection of kills coming up in October's edition, which I'll be putting together this weekend, and I'll probably drop it on Halloween, which I think is Monday. But in this game, we're out in the Tier 5 premium Japanese battleship, the Hyuga, which is one of the few ships that I have bought in this game. But even then, I did use a 30% discount coupon to make it better value for money. I've spawned center on this one, so my initial thought is I'm going to try and just keep myself sort of center left and do what I can to blunt whatever push the red team tries to do on this side. We get a full salvo off at that Katovsky, and we use one of our reload boosters, because if we can get a ship off the map early doors, it's less guns firing at a blue team. We ripple through that salvo back out to him, and even though he's being battered by everybody else, we pick up kill number 1. We see a Legal out there, and we're just keeping our sights aimed at him, waiting for this reload to happen. Again, he's pretty much broadside to everybody in the team, and I sometimes have trouble shooting at these guys, but we're not going to waste that salvo. We're going to ripple the shots out there. He is taking a battering from everybody else at the same time, and boom, we get kill number 2 in what, literally 2 minutes. 2 minutes into the game, and red team are 2 ships down. And I'm not feeling greedy, I'm just firing at what I've got available to me, as and when the guns come up. So we're looking, we've got a Kali, we've got another Hyuga out there. I know what I can do to red team, and I know what that Hyuga can do to me. There's nothing else in range at the moment, so we're going to keep our guns trained on this California. And we do spot that there is a cruiser out there on the left beside the island. It's a Japanese cruiser, it's the Aoba, and that thing is like a pinata for citadels. Watching those shots fly out, he's just pulled, I think, his throttle to forward again, which means he didn't reverse into that full salvo, but we do clatter him for a citadel, and he decides that hanging his bum out in the wind is probably not the smartest thing to be doing, but I reckon he's put torpedoes down at those guys. Next salvo comes available, Kali is charging in. We don't walk these shots, we do a full salvo, and RNG just deserts us on that one and gives us 1 hit out of 12 shots, and that's like sub 10k. And I was expecting something a little bit better of that, a few decent superstructure hits. But we're going to keep kiting away. We're watching for him pushing. We're waiting for the next salvo to come up. But before they load, he's dead and buried. Off to Davy Jones's locker. Nikolai I is coming through the middle, so we are going to turn and start to counter what appears to be a red push down the right flank, because I realise in looking at the map that the majority of the people have come to the left, and perhaps that's because the carrier's on this side and they think it'll be a little bit safer. So I'm looking around for what I've got to target. Didn't do much with that last salvo. Very, very wary of bringing myself into range of that Hyuga, but wanting to try and get this Nikolai off the map as well. Red team are pushing into the far cap. We've got this near cap. We go full salvo out at this Nikolai the First. There's a few other ships getting him target as well, and kaboom! Citadel, kill number 3. So there's some good focused fire here from the team. You know, they do seem to have a good understanding of where the red team are on the map and who they need to take off. I'm not sort of waiting for somebody to get that down to low damage before pulling the trigger. You know, I'm pulling the trigger pretty much as soon as I've got a salvo and I think I've got a reasonable shot on something. We know that this Hyuga is still hiding out behind this island, and what we don't want is him to come screaming down this flank and torpedo our aircraft carrier. But we put a salvo off, and this time, although we did lead him to the rear, RNG deserts us again. It drops half the shots over him, it drops half the shots this side of him, and leaves us with a couple of tickles on his paintwork. But there are a couple of ships out there pushing that guy. I don't expect him to live long at all. You know, he's got the option of going forward into the Mackinson or going backwards into the other ship. Don't know what it is there. I can't get shots across the top. Red team have secured that cap on the right side of the map, so I decide that I am going to push back. Still very wary that Mr. Hyuga is hiding out there somewhere. There he is, look. As soon as I'm spotted, he's under me. I've only got 2 turrets on there. I'm not going to turn out and try and get the other 4. I'm going to turn into these shots and try and bounce what I can. And knowing that the Britannia is there, and there's also, I think it's a New Mexico pushing out wider on the flank, I'm going to stay on this Hyuga and bring my guns across to the right side, because that's where the majority of my targets are going to be. It's where the biggest risk is going to be from. Hyuga's playing clever, using an island for cover. Our carrier is getting in there and is going to try and do some damage to him as well. There's Britannia. There's the New Mexico. We've got 4 turrets up. We peel them off at that New Mexico because he is giving us a nice bit of a broadside. But he disappears. We do land a couple of hits, but again, not a huge amount. I don't know what RNG is doing to me on this one, but broadside battleships should be taking an absolute beating with salvos like that. But instead, it's given us a couple of hit points of damage, and that's about it. But taking fire back, we're getting a bit of a beating. So we hit the heel just to bring ourselves up, because we think we might be in a 2 or 3-way fight here. Britannia is going to start trying to get shots across the top of us. There we go. We can't get shots onto him. So we've positioned ourselves quite well here, because we're close enough to those islands that the Britannia can't get shots across the top of us. But we have got a bit of a broadside to this New Mexico. But we get that salvo off as we see another salvo going in from another ship, which chunks him for his health. But we drop the shots on for the kill. That is number 4. 2 ships left in the game. Or should I say, 1 ship left in the game. And is this going to come down to Hyuga versus Hyuga? We have a Mackinson out there on the left, and we have another battleship out there on the left. I can't remember what it is at the moment, but the Hyuga is spotted. We've got the carrier above him who's going to be flying planes in against him, and so I decide that I'm going to push straight through the middle on this one. Get my guns across to the left, go straight out through the middle. Hyuga then has an option, much the same way as that Hyuga did, to either go out forwards into the majority of the blue team, or to come out backwards against me, and I think there's a cruiser going to follow me through the middle here as well. But he is getting harassed by our carrier, and one of the things that I don't really like about doing battleship replays is there's a lack of speed. There's sometimes a lack of intensity. It's a much more well, it's a much slower talk through because it takes your ships a long time to get anywhere. It takes your guns a long time to reload. There we go. It was a Texas that was out there with a Mackinson, and the Hyugas just killed them. Believe it or not, Mackinson is going to be the next victim. So that Hyuga is actually having himself quite a decent game because he picks up a high caliber. And I think with his next salvo, he's going to get shot of that Mackinson as well. There we go. And he's not going to stop there. Now, you've seen me play this. We're playing the same ship here. And whereas I've moved out to the left, come back to the right, and now I'm going through the centre, so very much a movement and positional game, this Hyuga has basically moved to the right to the small island and moved back, and just firing salvos left and right depending on what he's had in sight at the time. Some people might say all he's done is humped rock and camped an island and he's not really done much to help his team, but actually he's got a high caliber, and he's also going to pick up a Confederate as well, which is 20% minimum of the health pool of at least 6 enemy ships. So even though he's played a pretty static battle here and not had much movement in his game, he's probably done more to the blue team than a lot of other ships in his team who've been moving around and basically putting themselves in the way of shells. Now, I've been watching him fire his turrets off. There's his 2 front ones. He's been firing his 2 fronts and then his 4 backs. So I know that he has got his 4 back turrets coming up against me anytime shortly. There's a cruiser behind me taking little chips of health off. I've got a lot more health than he has, and I'm quite confident that I can survive a broadside from 4 turrets on this guy. And so we zoom in, we're looking for the Citadel shot. All our turrets are there. Bang, we take the Citadel, we take the kill, we take the Kraken, and we take the win for the team. So again, not a hugely massive scoring game, but a very tactical one where we're always aware of what is going on around us and who the risk is. We finished top of the board. That's not bad for me in a battleship, getting top of the board. But I really do hope you've enjoyed watching this replay. Again, don't forget, hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Until next time, take care and goodbye.